everybody, what cultures? Adam Cleary and Scott Tailford here, voted the channel's 14th most popular presenting combination circa 2018, and we are here with some entertainment news for you. And my god, what entertainment news it actually is. Now, if you are normal, like me, you are eagerly anticipating Tom Holland's next installment in his Spider-Man universe, and if you are normal, like me, you've had your ear to the ground and have heard certain rumblings about certain other incumbents of that particular Lycra who may be joining him on this mission. Now, I've brought Scott here because he has the juiciest Spidey story we have had in a goddamn cow's age. Scott, if you'd be so kind as to tell them what you've told me.
Let's just, if we all cross our fingers, then hopefully this is true. This comes from Fandom Wire, who are running with it as 100% confirmed. Apparently they've talked to an insider from Sony, no less, saying that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man are all coming together with Tom Holland's Spider-Man to make a live-action Spider-Verse movie. What do you think?
Whoa. Tom Holland, who is Spider-Man.
Yes.
And Andrew Garfield,
yes,
who was Spider-Man,
and Tobey Maguire,
who was the Spider-Man, are all going to be in the same Spider-Man film, according to Fandom Wire and their sources.
Apparently, I have some things that I feel like back this up a little bit, but the report states that a Sony source closely involved with Spider-Man 3 has confirmed that both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have signed on to reprise their respective Spider-Man roles next to Tom Holland's Peter Parker, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it did remind me of the end of Far From Home, where obviously, you know, J. Jonah Jameson popped up again, J.K. Simmons came back into the role. It made me think, what if that was, you know, some way of Tom Holland's Spider-Man being wrenched out of his continuity into something resembling the Raimiverse. Now I know that before that you get to see Mysterio out Peter Parker, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, you know, as Spider-Man. But the fact that, actually, what do you think of that? Because I've got more stuff to get to. But the reality of this.
Genuinely, if Enter the Spider-Verse should have taught us anything, it's that it doesn't really necessarily need to make the most scientific or logical sense. If you just produce something excellent and exciting and entertaining, all that other stuff can be forgiven. I'm not saying there isn't a way to make this completely watertight if they do it, but I just think if you're going to bring Holland and Garfield and Maguire together in one Spider-Man film, I don't think you need to worry too much about the minutiae of it, because that's just such a cool concept.
The thing is, with the minutiae, with making it watertight, 2 words, Doctor Strange. All they need, Mr. Doctor Strange. He's also part of the report as well. Apparently, Doctor Strange is the one bringing all this together, which is as vague or as watertight as you need it to be. And part of the report says that both Maguire and Garfield will appear in Tom Holland's universe during the final act to help defeat all of the Spider-Men's combined foes.
That is, yeah, I mean,
just, you know, does a bit of a swirl.
We can go with this other than just outright excitement at the moment.
Well, I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, you know, we had the end of Endgame. We had all the circles appearing. We had On Your Left. We had everybody coming together. And if you're Sony, your big money bag Sony, then what's your version of that? Well, it's the Spider-Verse. Now, it did make me think of the trailer for Morbius, which is a film that I keep forgetting is happening. But Jared Leto's Morbius, where in the background during one of the shots of that, you can see the Sam Raimi Spider-Man on a poster. You can see the spider suit. Which kind of potentially hints that they've been wanting to do multiverse stuff for a while. And also, I went back to a September interview with J.K. Simmons, J. Jonah Jameson, who was talking to Collider, and he said that when that cameo was coming together, the one from the end of Far From Home, apparently he had a bunch of creative differences with the studio themselves, because he was like, well, I'm J. Jonah Jameson from Mr. Sam Raimi's universe. It doesn't make sense for me to be in this thing. And he said that the one thing we didn't see 100% eye to eye on was how much this character is going to be the one from the comic books and the Sam Raimi original trilogy. How much do we want to evolve it, and does it have to be more contemporary? He says that they settled on him having less hair, but he never really seemed to fully get that it was meant to be a different one. He says J. Jonah Jameson either lost his hair in the last few years, or he was wearing a hairpiece the whole time. He says, I don't know, you pick. Point being, though, that he, for the most part, thinks of that version of J. Jonah as the one from the Sam Raimi-verse, which potentially now could make retrospective sense.
Yeah, I know the real thing you're supposed to take from that is that this could be the same character and thus it's in the same universe. I know that's what I'm supposed to get from that, but all I'm getting is that there was like a 4-hour-long meeting between his representatives and Marvel's representatives and Sony's representatives to come down on this absolute brilliant bit of continuity, and someone at the back of the room went, just make it bald. Like, that's how you pass time, isn't it?
It's not going to work.
This is, again, I don't want to get bogged down in like, would this make sense, would that make sense, would this make sense, would that make sense, because I don't care if they're able to bring this together using the power of Sony's back catalogue and whatever the hell the arrangement currently is between Sony and Marvel. If they are able to pull that together and make it make sense, I don't really mind how they do that. Like, again, going back to Spider-Verse, there are elements in that which hint at Raimi's Spider-Man, and the implication seems to be that there are infinite Spider-Verses, and it was only a handful of them that actually ended up in that film. So why can't all the Spider-Men from every media, from every platform, from every comic book or film or TV show or anything, why can't they all be part of the same Spider-Verse? And just in this instance, we're going to get the 3 live-action ones combined.
Yeah.
Like, what is to stop them pulling Spider-Pig, Peter Porker, into the MCU?
If they have to actually cast a live-action pig and to do the proper version of Peter Porker, then, I mean, sure. At some point they will, because, I mean, you have to go bigger after the end of Endgame, and what else can you do, really? The sort of multiple Spider people verse thing has been around since the animated show, and it's like, it was a whole thing a few years ago in the comics, so why not? I do think that it reminds me of the cancelled version of the end of Rise of Skywalker, when it was meant to be that Rey was fighting Palpatine, and all the previous Jedi were meant to pop up behind her. It was meant to be like Mace Windu and whatever else. Insert your favorite Jedi of choice. They were all meant to appear behind her. Apparently those scenes were shot, and they never made it to the final movie. But if someone got wind of that in some sort of corporate circle conversation thing, and then Mr. Sony was like, well, we can do that. We have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. We have these people lying around. Why not bring them together? For me, it makes perfect corporate synergy sense.
I like them just turning Spider-Man into Buffy. Basically, in every generation, there is born into a Spider-Man, and you can pull the different ones from all over the different planes of existence. Look, I keep coming back to the idea that I don't really care how this works or what justification there is for it. You've got Doctor Strange, you've got him doing his thing, you've got this whole concept of there being multiverses. Just run with Maguire and Andrew Garfield in. Andrew Garfield, I think, is a very underrated Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire does not. Tobey Maguire is well regarded, but should be the legendary defining Spider-Man in my eyes. And these kids who've grown up with the goddamn MCU, who didn't have to sit through those Fantastic Four movies to appreciate how good a superhero movie could be, they don't know, man. No, they don't know how good Maguire was.
They didn't see what we saw. They didn't see Willem Dafoe's back to formula. They didn't see him freaking out for 2 movies or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess the way that this thing's written up, where they're going to come together for the big finish, do you think this will then... Could we get another Maguire Spider-Man? There was a Spider-Man 4 planned at one point that went completely sideways. Do you think this is them exploring just more Spider-Man stuff?
Again, I think if you're going on that Star Wars idea, that might well be the way they go with this. I don't think you can conceivably have a story that's based around all 3 of these Spider-Men, because then they all get the same billing as Tom Holland. This is supposed to be Tom Holland's Spider-Man, indeed his story, but there are ways you can use them quite well, and I guess just pulling on the power of the multiverse for the final battle, in which Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are involved, I think is a great way to do that, because, for all I sit here and rave about Tobey Maguire, it's still going to be Tom Holland's film, and he still has to carry the mantle of being Spider-Man after this film, so you don't want to relegate him to second billing under more famous Spider-Men. So
True.
I would like them to be used, however, I would like them to be used sparingly.
One question to end this. Do you think they will do a dance scene?
I do not think they will do a dance scene. However, if I am not given a dance scene I was about to say when I go to the cinema to see this, when I inevitably get it on a streaming service 3 months after it's come out, because this is all still going on, I will demand blood, Scott.
I just want some sort of hip thrusting scene that allows Tobey Maguire to reclaim the memes that have come out of Spider-Man 3 that he couldn't capitalize on back in the day because it was before social media and everything. Just give us a full-on dance scene. Why not?
Genuinely, the rebirth of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man as the ultimate meme reference point is genuinely only months away now, in my opinion, but that's what we have made of all of this. I'm sure you've got your own shouts, so get them in the comments below. Do you want to see both of these in the next Spider-Man movie, or are you Tom Holland stan for life? Let us know. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Scott, where can they get you on Twitter?
Oh, I'm at /LP89.
You get me at Adam Cleary, CLERY. The entire What Culture family at your disposal at What Culture, believe it or not. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. This has been your Spider News, and we'll see you in a spider bit.
Gonna flip, mate. Bye.